that I've talked about the protections, talked about the coverages. I think we got to play to our players' strengths probably a little bit better, but take away what they do well. I think in the first quarter, we obviously talked a lot about this quarterback, and in the very first or second play, he takes off on a huge scramble, and just you have to stop them from doing the things they do well, and that was goal number one. We knew the whole offense ran through number two, and unfortunately, we weren't able to curtail that.
Why hasn't that been fixed?
Yeah, obviously I haven't given them the right answers. We'll sit down and evaluate. I think the part that we have to understand, if we're playing zone coverage, then we have to be able to understand where those holes are, and because they're finding them. And then when we played man coverage, when our eyes are away from the quarterback, to not be able to get him down when he took off on the scramble was very frustrating, especially for 20 yards. Yeah. If I have to get more involved, I will. I think the part that, I really struggle with is sometimes it seems like we fix one thing and something else shows up. I do know we cut a guy loose there at the end down on the last drive there where we got within striking distance and they marched it down. We had I think a very manageable 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. And that's when they caught number 12 over the middle there, and he was just running scot-free. And then I, heard on the headset I wasn't able to watch play yet. We just cut a guy loose. Like, we were running man-free, and the guy that was covering him just stopped covering him. And it's just inexcusable, and something that we got to figure out why that happened, and then obviously find out the answers of if he can't do it, then we got to find somebody else that can.
Obviously, you didn't want to let Javon Williams get loose, but was there a point in time in this game where it felt like you needed to at least maybe try to up the pressure on him just to make it more difficult for him?
Yeah, I think we saw some teams that had brought a lot of pressure, and the result was some big plays away from it. I know that they had several running back screens and some screen game that had hurt some teams in the pressure package, but I don't know if the pressure was the right answer there. Just more of being able to execute the plan that it was. And, we bottom line, there was one there, it was a 3rd and 3, and we talked all week. I talked about it last night that, 3rd and 3, they're going to throw to the sticks, and boom, they threw the sticks, right? And we were there on a catch tackle, but we can't allow that throw to happen. I do so many things. I just have never really done that. I'm heavily involved offense, defense, special teams. I understand why the question gets asked, but Aaron's done a good job in other times, right? Obviously we're hitting a struggle. I think we have to make a really good evaluation of what we're asking the guys that are out there to do, right? Like you can't ask guys that aren't there, the guys that are filling in for some of those guys at injured positions, if they can't execute what that guy did, then we got to find out what these guys that we do have can do. Well, anytime you're giving up 40 points a game, it's not good, right? So I think a lot of it, has to do with what we do on early downs to make sure that third down's a little bit more manageable. But again, those 3rd and longs, like we just can't give up. We just can't. Well, it just gave us first down. I mean, it can't happen, and that's probably going to be my main point of emphasis this week is find out what Rutgers does on 3rd downs and try to give as much assistance in that game plan as humanly possible.
There was an extended conversation with the officials right before, right after the Colin Dixon touchdown, I think. Do you recall what that conversation was about?
No, couple long conversations with a couple that I don't know that one for sure.
You mentioned a couple times this season about looking at what you're asking your players to do. Like, what's that conversation like with your coaches then? It seems like you're still kind of looking at that.
Yeah, well, I thought if you go back to the 2 games prior to this, USC and Ohio State, I thought Purdue was in there obviously, but in particular against 2 opponents that I thought were really good football teams that we really played a little bit better on defense. We still gave up some points, obviously, in the Ohio State game, but they got put in some really bad spots, and I just thought we tackled really well. We took away some of the things they did. I thought Washington here in the middle of the second quarter, they kind of went away from the running game, and we're going strictly into the passing game, and we definitely have to do a better job of stopping the intermediate routes. And then I think the big thing for us, in the second half was just like we would do some things offensively, get a couple points on the board, and we just couldn't stop them on defense. And that was the difference in the game. Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt. They put a lot into this. You know, we put a huge emphasis on the bye week. Got a little jump on Washington towards the end of last week and Sunday, and thought our guys came out here with a good attitude, good demeanor. I think they expected to win. That's one of our major points, is not just to talk about it, but expect it. And you know, I think there's enough good guys in that locker room and good character, high character guys to lead these guys through a really difficult moment. We talked about before this game, to get a W today, we need everybody working together, and that's probably more now coming out of this game than ever before, right? We don't need anybody standing around pointing fingers, especially me. I need to be better at the expectation of what I expect our guys to do, and find out the answers. If we can't give them, then I got to find those answers out.
One more after you said if you need to be more involved defensively, you will be over the next couple of days. How do you make the determination to either get involved and to what degree?
Well, I'm always involved. I think what he asked me was if I'm going to call it, right? And I just there's so many things that go on in my daily journal. I know there's some guys that can do that, but I think that gives a little bit of mixed messages to players, right? Like, so I don't think that's the answer, but I definitely, you know, can put ourselves under the radar on everything that we're asking those guys to do.
Brett, you've always wanted obviously when the offense subs do you need to shorten the bench or shorten the rotation a little bit?
We really didn't sub all that much today. We sub under, you know, like if they're under 20, that's when we would kind of do our slow subs. But they were doing that in plenty of time today. There were a couple of times when we went out there. I got frustrated. There was one time where I thought the call went into the bench and we didn't get a substitution. But for the most part, I don't think that was the issue, is, you know, failure to get off the field on third down and from us on defensive standpoint. And then, you know, like just right before the end of the half, right, that was a scheme run against man, right? They ran a quick flare pass and then the back block for a second and ran the wheel route, and he was uncontested in the boundary. So, and then the last touchdown there, when they got in a real tight a bunch, the 3 tight end set, and the tight end just took a jab step, came out. They obviously knew what coverage we're in and how to expose it. So those things are the things that we got to take care of coaching wise, right? If a guy stops covering a guy on third down, that's player related, but schematically related. We got to make sure we're asking our guys that that they understand what we're asking them to do and how to execute it.
Thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, disappointment. I think that's a good way to sum it up. Everyone's disappointed when you go out and don't play the way you're capable of and lose the game. Washington did everything they needed to do to win the game, so just upsetting as a team.
Since in the second half, did Washington do anything different defensively in terms of aggression or how they covered you guys?
I'm not sure. They did a good mix of things in the first half, and I thought they did the same type of threw a mix ass in the second half. So I don't know if they did anything different. I think they just executed really well.
Looked to carry the ball really well. The first, I think there was 5 games, and then taking the last game and the pick today. What can you and other receivers do well to help him take care of the ball?
Yeah, just do our job when the ball's in there. The one got hit from Hank, like as he went to catch it. So I mean, just catch it, or that's really all you can do.
Well, how do you guys kind of regroup now after a disappointing loss and focus moving forward?
The goal's the goal, the same. 1-0 every week. So we got a game at home next week. So it's just get in there tomorrow and flush this one, and then just same mentality. 1-0 every week.
Said that you guys we got actually more time to put in this game with the bye week. Does that maybe increase this one a little bit just because you've put some real effort into the prep for this kind of game?
I don't think it increases it. You put so much into every week that anytime you go out there and lose, is disappointing. So I wouldn't say it increases it. No. Yeah, it's been awesome to have Cole out there. He just adds another receiving threat on the field, so it's not it takes the focus off the receivers a little bit when you have a tight end that can do that, and it's just been great to have him out there playing.
What was the vibe like to go down 14-3, but with a minute left to go in the half, make it 17-14? It felt like you guys kind of shifted the momentum at that point.
Yeah, it was good. We went down, we scored a couple times, and I mean, no one ever flinched when we went down 14-3. No one flinched. We knew what we were capable of and just go out there and execute. So I think morale was good there. Yeah.
What was the message you wanted to
Just go and see what we did that we need to fix, and then flush it, because we have a team coming to our house next week that doesn't care about what we did today. They want to win. So we got to go and get back on track next week. It was awesome. I wish it would have been in better circumstances for the team, but see a guy like Jordan that comes in and works so hard, and he plays everything. I mean, he runs routes as a tight end, he blocks as a tight end, plays running back. He knows the whole offense like the back of his hand. So see him get in the end zone was pretty exciting. Yeah, he's very calm. It's a very calm feel to see your leader like that. Not even hesitate, just know what you're capable of, and for him to go out and lead us, and there's never a moment of doubt when you're talking to him or he's talking to you about the drive they're about to go on.
That's good.
Thanks, guys.
We're coming up to about 5 or 6.
I know there's a lot in this game. It meant a lot for you guys. We're feeling now. That locker room is feeling.
Yeah, disappointing, obviously. A game where we clearly thought we were the better team going into it, expected to win. At least I did. And I could feel that energy from really our whole group. So just difficult. Credit to those guys. They played well, scored 42 points, and some of the best corners that I've seen in this league through my 3 years being here, and they flew around. They played really fast defensively and played inspired, played like they wanted to win the game. Not saying we didn't, but it's hard to win on the road when two good teams come together and they make more plays than we do. So credit to Washington, a good team, going to win a lot of games moving forward, but I believe we are too. We have a lot to play for. Very mature group, again, knows how to pick themselves back up, and going to do that. I am. I'll tell you that. I'm going to play well. I'm going to play my hardest, and I know my teammates will as well. So.
How do you refocus when you focus on so much you have to play for? Still a lot of energy.
Yeah. I don't know. You just you see you got 4 games left, and you win all of them. You have a very similar season, obviously, to last year, and that was a really, really cool season for these fans and for us, and we're gonna go, do our best. Saturday's coming. Rutgers is gonna show up in that stadium come Saturday. If we pout and mope and hang our heads that we're not going to go 10-2 and make the playoff, then the advantage goes to Rutgers in that moment. And so got an older group and some guys that are going to be finishing up their last 4 games with this program, and so you're going to get their best, and then you're going to get my best, and just excited to just keep getting better and play the game I love, and so that's going to naturally come out, and I think success will ensue, and so I believe that.
How did you guys regroup and maybe get the momentum back going down 14-3 and then eventually taking the lead right before it?
Yeah, I told those guys, man, let's go do our job. Let's go do a job that we showed up to do, regardless. I mean, you go out there, it's 11 guys on defense, 11 guys on offense, and the goal is to score. And so I tell them every single time, lots of confidence, and let's go do our job. Let's go do a job that we showed up here to do. And so we did that. We took it one play at a time. Obviously you can get down on yourself being down, 14-3, whatever, and through, playing from behind the whole game. But the goal is to go get 7 points on said drive, and we have a group that's confident that we can do it, starting with me and up front, and out wide and everybody in between. So I don't know. We try to go do a job, do our job, and see what happens. Washington did a good job today in general, just with playing hard and physical, and not saying we didn't, but they did too, and they matched it, and their ability was showed up today, and so credit to those guys.
You mentioned the cornerbacks. On those 2 interceptions, do they present something you would expect?
Yeah, 3rd and I think 21 on the first one, and saw exactly what I needed to see, and try to fit a tight window throw into Hank to keep the chains moving. If I throw it underneath, we're punting, and I believe I could have made that throw. I felt like I did make the throw, and they did a good job of just playing through the ball a little bit. We had an opportunity to come down with it, but they did a great job of letting their ability show up. And so you can call it a force or whatever you want to call it, but we had that opportunity to go do it. Obviously can maybe throw a better ball. I hadn't really watched it back, and people feel their ways about it, but I saw it very, very well. And on the second one, just a man coverage, we ran a 4 vertical play, really a 3 vertical play, and they did a good job of manning our guys up. I kind of underthrew it just a touch, and you do that in this league against a good team, against a good secondary, they're going to make a play on the ball. And so felt very similar to last year against Oregon, so lots of ability on that side of the ball. I'm not saying we don't have ability at all, but they showed up and ready to play, played inspired, played fast, and made plays on the football. But I saw the game pretty well.
One more. You mentioned playing from behind. It seems like you guys need to put a good amount of points right now at this moment in time. How do you not put too much pressure on yourselves offensively? Maybe feeling like you got to get those 7 more times than that.
Yeah, I don't know. We just use the opportunity to just score a lot of points. I don't know. Like I don't think we see it as pressure, on ourselves to just go score a whole bunch. And every time we touch the ball, we believe we can. So we just see it as an opportunity to go to have fun out there and fly around, create explosives, and maximize every single play. So it's not easy playing from behind, but we did our fair share of mistakes. We had our fair share of mistakes on offense to put them in a good position. And so I don't know. I don't put any pressure on myself when we're playing from behind. I just I take things one play at a time. That's all I can do. Like I take advantage of the moment and try to do my best. And I know our guys do too. Played a lot of football together. And so you put a lot of pressure on yourself, try to press when you're down, it's still 11-on-11 football. You better go do a good job on said play to maximize it. So I don't know. We just try to do our job and do it the best of our ability. He's a good player. He shows up a lot, gets open, makes plays, contested catches. I feel very comfortable and confident with him on the field. I know he's a confident player, and he continues to show up. So hopefully he's out there a lot more with me, and because he makes plays, and it's he's usually out there when we're playing fast and things like that, and sometimes he'll be in there in the normal flow of games, but he brings an element that's very unique to our team: bigger body, very large catch radius, and ability to win in one-on-one. Like that's, and if you want to play high level football and win a lot of games, you got to have a tight end who can do those things. So we got to be able to threaten the defense with all our personnels at all positions, myself, up front, backs, tight ends, running backs. If you want to win, like we believe that we can in this league. So got a lot of good bodies out there who can do a lot of different things. We got to maximize it to the best of our ability within 60 to 70 plays a game. They're very important. Appreciate it.
think the main goal was just keeping him in the pocket. He's a shorter guy and, really can't see over his linemen. So that was the game plan coming into the game. Is that something that you hope would evolve over the course of the game? Did you feel like you could have ramped up some pressure at any point in the game? Yeah. But again, it goes down to just us doing our job and, taking ownership in that. And I feel like we didn't do that as a team. As a defense, including me, so can't point fingers, just you gotta, watch the film and move on. That's all we can do.
Washington used maybe a lot of actions to get him out of the pocket, though. Just rolled Jamon Williams out. When he's scrambling like that, what's important to, if he's broken containment to try and make a play?
Yeah, just everybody run to the ball, break and contain. Like we had some spy guys, just getting them down is the most important thing. And, it's important that we just, keep them in the pocket.
How do you guys respond to
Disappointing.
disappointing loss like this? Obviously, a lot on the line. How do you guys refocus, respond?
Yeah, just can't dwell on it. The good team we lost. It's a loss, but we can't carry that over into the next game. We got to watch the film, do the corrections, and go on to Rutgers. They're another good team in the Big Ten. Every team here is going to be good. So we just got to, really focusing on doing our jobs and playing as a unit and not just singular players.
Dave, you were here in 23. Is the vibe at all similar, especially on defense? Just with the veteran leadership and mistakes that are piling up. Does the vibe feel the same, or does it feel different?
I'll say a little different. There's a lot of leaders on the defense. Including me, Bailey, Rosiak, James Kreutz, Miles Scott, James Thompson. A lot of older guys, and I feel like us as leaders, you first of all you got to lead and show up in big game moments. It sucks to lose. No one likes to lose, but you just got to move on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.